Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Big Ed's, baby, with Everyday Shenanigans. I want to bring you that information. Just more crazy nonsense pertaining to the military. If you need verification for the storyline, please log on to ABC News. Deaths of two female Army soldiers probed in Texas. One fatally shot on Freeway. They were identified as Sergeant Jessica Mitchell, 30, and PFC Asia M. Graham, 19. This is just sad. Texas, I'm so sick of hearing about Texas, I don't know what to do. Investigation underway for two Army soldiers found dead over New Year's holiday. Army officials are investigating the deaths of Staff Sergeant Jessica Mitchell, 30, and Private Asia Graham, 19, in separate incidents, United States Air Force. The apparently unrelated deaths of two Army soldiers in Texas are under female Army soldiers in Texas are under investigation after officials said one died after being shot in her car on a freeway on New Year's Day, and the other was discovered dead in her military barracks on New Year's Eve. The soldiers were identified as 30-year-old Staff Sergeant Jessica Mitchell and 19-year-old Asia M. Graham, according to military officials. The back-to-back deaths come just 4 months after two congressional committees launched probes into the high number of deaths at Fort Hood and Killeen, Texas, in 2020, highlighted by the disappearance of the three soldiers who were later found dead, including Vanessa Gillian. Mitchell, a drill sergeant assigned to the U.S. Army Medical Center for Excellence at Joint Base in San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston, was shot to death around 2:30 a.m. on New Year's Day while driving on Interstate 10 in San Antonio, according to the San Antonio Police Department. Firefighters discovered Mitchell with multiple gunshot wounds after responding to what they initially thought was a car crash, police said. She was taken to the University Hospital in San Antonio, where she was pronounced dead around 3 a.m., police said. And you will see a picture of Staff Sergeant Jessica Mitchell inside this commentary in her uniform. Very tragic. The arrests have been made, no arrests have been made, and police are investigating if Mitchell was targeted. Miller was recently promoted to the position of drill sergeant assigned to the U.S. Army Medical Center of Excellence, MEDCO, at JBSA Fort Sam Houston, military officials said. We are devastated by the tragic loss of drill sergeant Jessica Mitchell. Our sincere condolences go out to her family and friends. We are focused on supporting drill sergeant Mitchell's family as well as her soldiers during this extremely difficult time, Major General Dennis LeMaster, the MEDCO commanding general, said in a statement. Mitchell was on holiday leave at the time of her death, the master said. The fatal shooting is being investigated by the San Antonio Police Department and the Army's Criminal Investigation Division. Graham of Cherryville, North Carolina, was found unresponsive in her barracks room at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. Okay, another military base. And pronounced dead by emergency personnel, officials said. She's a young lady of 19 years of age. There's also a set picture of her in this article. The Army is investigating Graham's death. There was no immediate indication that foul play was involved. Graham was a human resources specialist who was stationed at Fort Bliss in December after completing basic combat training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, officials said. She was assigned to the 1st Armored Division Combat Aviation Brigade, also known as the Iron Eagle Team. The Iron Eagle Team is deeply saddened by the loss of our friend and teammate. We send our deepest condolences and prayers to her friends and loved ones, Colonel Jeffrey Wittenberg, commander of the division, said in a statement. Graham was a valued member of the Iron Eagle Team and did an outstanding job for this battalion, Wittenberg added. Her loss was felt not just in our formations, but across the Army. We lost a skilled human resource specialist who wanted nothing more than to serve her country and her battle buddies. Graham enlisted in the Army in July 2019 and in her short career received the National Defense Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and the Army Service Ribbon, military officials said. ABC News' Matthew Furman contributed to this report. So we have two women who have been, one has died on an interstate and one has died in her barracks. Both are females, both deriving out of, their bases are deriving out of Texas. Jessica Mitchell, 30, and Asia M. Graham, 19. This is just very sad. This is sickening because I brought you all cases of coming out of Killeen, Texas, several months back, and those are horrific cases. I mean, just baffling cases. And now here we have two more women, one gunned down on the interstate and one found dead in her barracks. Okay, so Mitchell, who was the 30-year-old, she was found, she's a drill sergeant, she was found at, she was assigned to Army Medical Center for Excellence at Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam, Houston, and found shot to death at 2:30 a.m. on New Year's Day. And then this other young lady, let me scroll up to get her information. She was a human resource specialist who was stationed at Fort Bliss in December at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, officials said. But she was just assigned to the 1st Armored Division Combat Aviation Brigade, also known as the Iron Eagle Team. This is some weird stuff going on here. I don't understand what is going on. Trying to make sure I get all the information pertaining to her. Yeah. The 19-year-old Miss Graham, she was found at her barracks room in Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And the other lady was found in San Antonio. So one in El Paso, the 19-year-old, and the 30-year-old was found at the U.S. Army Medical Center for Excellence at Joint Base San Antonio. So two separate locations, San Antonio and El Paso. I didn't go in to see the distance, but either way, they're different places. So my condolences to the family members of these two female women who have served us in the military. And that 19-year-old, she has some very nice accolades on her belt to be so young. And to find out she passed away in her barracks, so I don't know, if this is natural causes or what. But as you see, I've brought you several stories pertaining to Killeen, Texas, and the rising deaths out there. And I don't know what the hell's going on out there in Texas, Killeen, or any of these other bases. But it's sad to see all these people dying from one base in Killeen, Texas. Now we have two more women from two different bases in Texas. This is just sad and tragic because death is final, no matter how the person dies, be it natural causes or murder, whatever. It's sad. And I'll bring you a set update to these two new cases out of Texas. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the live that I just brought you. It's about 3 hours long. Sorry it's so long, but them puppies stayed in there with the questions, commentary, and I wanted to bring you this set update pertaining to the two children who are currently missing out of California City, California. First to families, the community, because it's, as I stated, a baffling case. No leads, no information from law enforcement. But when I get that information to that case with the missing children, I will bring you an update, and I will also bring you an update pertaining to these two new cases out of Texas. Prayer for everyone. Mask up. COVID is real. The Queen is out of here. Thanks for joining me. Have a blessed week. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.